thank you, and appreciate the invitation to be here today. Kind of a little on the other side now. It's been regulators and instructors and universities, so I'm on the other side now of what they told what we should be doing, and I hope I am doing. I want to start out with my business. I started because I was bored. After I retired in 2003 and needed something to do, so I thought the idea, well, I'm living in Lynchburg. Jack Daniel is here, so I'll make a product flavored as a token, a cake that's flavored with it, as a token food that people that visit here, the tourists, they have over 250,000 tourists a year, that they'd have a choice item to carry back with them. So that's why I started my business, and we didn't know it was going to go to where it did. I built a real small kitchen, as some of you know, and some of you in here, several of you in here have been there as regulators and customers and assistants to me for when I needed it. So I started my business and I made my 50 cakes, and after a couple of months I was doing 200 a month. At the end of the year I was doing 500 a month, and so it really took off more than we thought, and that's...
Just make sure you talk right into that.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay, sorry about that. So then the Tennessee Department of Agriculture that regulates me required an addition on my building because you can't store in the kitchen both raw materials nor finished goods. So I had to add on a little addition onto my place, and it's small. Now I have a very small, and I tell people that comes and visits my place, it's not the square footage. So many people say, you mean you make all that in this little place? It's not the square footage. We're conservative and we're efficient. And I'll just put that up right up front. And that's the way we operate, and plus under other restrictions and regulations, which I'll cover just a second. I had a pre-operation inspection on June the 24th of '04. It took me a year to get rezoned and get my place built, perfect the cake, because I took my mother's recipe, and it was a 135-year-old recipe. It was her mother's recipe. So it's an old country recipe that I took and had to modify. My mother didn't use whiskey. So I had to make a little change there to put Jack Daniel in it, and I did, and got started on the 25th. That was the next day after the Tennessee Department of Agriculture released me. And my pre-inspection, I received a 96. And in fact, I've only received a 96 once since then, and the rest of them have been hundreds. So we've been proud of our way we've operated in our clean facility. We think it ought to be clean. We've operated that way. And we thought all the time we was doing the right things when we got started in this bit, after we've been started a while. And we earned, like I say, 100 each time. And we just had a very few policies and checkpoints at the time, at this particular time, before we made another big change. And when Cracker Barrel asked, are you HACCP? Of course, a lot of you that's not HACCP, and a lot of you that don't know what HACCP was or didn't know much until you came today. You got a lot of knowledge here today. I said, what is HACCP? You know, as many people would ask. Well, I wore out TJ and Miss Betsy over there, asking questions, you know, to give me some assistance and some help on this, because I didn't have the slightest idea what it was. I went to Dr. Bill Morris, University of Tennessee, or went to Google out, and it seemed like University of Ohio had a pretty good bit of information on there, but I went back to Cracker Barrel and they gave me some guidance to get me in the right direction. So I hired a person to come in that was a HACCP expert, and he went the wrong way. Okay, he came in and got me in the right direction. And I thought, gosh, what I have gotten into here. I don't know if I'll ever make it through this or not. But we did, and I've always been pretty gung-ho about whatever I did. I love researching, and you better love researching if you're going into HACCP, because you're going to have to do a lot of it, and it don't end. You've got to continue on, and it's a good thing. I'm not saying that to be negative. I'm saying to be very positive. It's a great thing. And anyway, I had written a lot of policies in management. I'd been in management. I was accounting manager at Jack Daniels on 2 governor's staffs, and I'd written a lot of policies, but I hadn't written anything about HACCP. So I got into the HACCP policies and had a lot of, like I say, a lot of great help. And I now help small companies that's trying to get into it. And when I say I help them, they call me because I'm a small company and they're small. And they call, want to know, can you help me? Someone has referred them to me. And we're always glad to do that. We have to network and work together to get things done the way that it ought to be done. Now, I've been visited also by the FDA. Miss Beals over there visited me back a couple, 3 years ago. And when she came in, I thought, what have I done? What's the complaint? Well, it wasn't. She hadn't been there before to my place, and it was just what I call a friendly visit or regular audit. And she cut it short. And she reminded me of something a little while ago at break. And this is by becoming HACCP. You have so many more policies, and I have tourists that comes by my place, and I give tours. And I think that's a great thing to do. It builds business. It lets people see what HACCP is and how you operate. So many times people, and it's almost daily, people will say, I didn't know you had to go through so much to make food. Well, they all don't do that, but we're glad that we do, and we're glad that we're doing it what we think is the right way. And I think we kind of have a proven factor there that we are doing it the right way. So the FDA was there, and I thought it was going to be there all day, and after a couple, 3 hours, they left. Well, I kind of like that, but because I didn't want them to find too many things that was fun. But after we talked, it was a fun thing. We enjoyed the visit. We welcome anybody, any company to come in that thinks we want us to do some private labeling for them to inspect us. Now, for example, I had one out of Louisville, Kentucky. This is 4 years ago. A private label for them. I made the cake. Their team accepted it unanimously. And then the next thing was to come down and visit. Now, I'm telling you this, I'm not boasting, I'm just telling you how HACCP works and what it does for you. It's a great protector and a great feeling to have each day to walk away from your business knowing you did things the right way. You feel real good and comfortable about it because it's so much that you have to do and go through with all your policy and checkpoint. Well, this person called from Quality Assurance. Their division is 2 of them came down, and they wanted to inspect our place. So they came down to inspect, and TJ and Ms. Bills, I gave them the regular tour like I gave you all, and a lot of other people that's interested in us making a product for them. After we got through, she says, now I had 7 questions to ask you, but you've already answered them. Well, that's where HACCP is. I haven't seen anyone yet to come up with anything at a lower level that exceeded what HACCP is. It's the only way, in my opinion, to make foods. I don't buy anything other than HACCP ingredients and supply items. Clorox, Palmolive, our boxes, everything that we buy is HACCP. We back that up by getting letters from the manufacturer processor of those products to have them on file. I look around now when I go to places to eat, and sometimes in a restaurant, I know restaurant inspectors in here, you're in a different division, but I think, sometimes you need to bring your standards up to the Tennessee Department of Agriculture. Jimmy, I don't know if I should have said that or not, but I really think Tennessee Department of Agriculture standards are great. And in fact, they're doing some things now that we have to do as HACCP, like the recall policy. We have to have a recall policy in place, and Tennessee Department of Agriculture inspectors come in and they ask now, do you have that? They want to see your recall policy and see if it's active, and I mean active by mock, not by real, because I hope we don't have a recall, and very, very few people that's HACCP ever has a recall. Now, you people in the FDA and Tennessee Department of Agriculture and Health, you may know something that I don't know about that, but I think that's the only way to go. I have a 975 out of 1,000 points now on my last HACCP audit, and that was a year ago. I'm due another audit in about 6 weeks away now. AIB International is the largest, I believe, in the world that does HACCP inspections and audits, and really proud of the work that they do, the assistance they give also. You can, I can ask them a lot of times for assistance during the year when there's changes that comes through, or if you think of something that comes through. But that's my score now, 975 out of 1,000. And I was just reading a little email about 3 days ago that came through as an advertisement of some company that was talking about they had a 920. They were real proud of their facility being up to a 920, and I never have been that low. So I'm not boasting, I'm just saying, I'm just proud of my little company, and we keep it clean. The walls are sanitized. Miss Lee here with Microbac does our lab work outside. We have 9 employees. We have a chemist, retired chemist part-time from Jack Daniel as one of my employees. Do the outside work here in Nashville, swabbing the walls, the floors, the ceiling, the drains. That's all done, and they do the work for us. They do the testing on my cakes to make sure there are no bacterials in it. We have a 2.5 year certified by those people shelf life now of our cake, and we're proud of that. We only put a year on our label, and that's for insurance purposes. We think we should not go beyond a year, and I think there's something we need to talk about, and maybe get on the panel in a few minutes. You can talk about it, maybe, if you want to, the insurance. I think that's another something we need to look into. And you can look at my website, and it's lynchburgcakeandcandy.com, and you can click on WTCI. That's one of the medias that's covered. We've had a lot of media that's covered us, been on Food Network, The View. WTCI is a Southern Accents with Chattanooga TV station, and you can click on that and you can see us in detail of everything we do in our plant, and we're really proud for that to be there for you to see. I have a good staff of 9 people. I've never terminated an employee. We continue to add on. I've never terminated an employee during my management career. I think we've always hired the right person, treat them right, pay them right. They'll be efficient and do the right kind of work. And they do it with us with HACCP. I guess that's about all I have to cover right here at this time. I'm about out of time here, I guess. And we'll have questions here, entertain questions when we get up on the panel here in a few more minutes.